All right, so today's topic of discussion is discipline. So I want to let you know right now that regardless of how much discipline you think you don't have, you actually have more discipline than you realize. Okay? Now, let's say if I was to ask you, do you have a favorite TV show? Right? One episode comes on a week or something like that. Or maybe if you like watching The Daily Show like me, it probably comes on like every day. Of course, I miss a lot of episodes. But let's say you have a favorite TV show, like The Walking Dead or something, which is a big hit, comes on, I believe, Sundays? And people just religiously keep up to date with it. Ask yourself, do you have a TV show like that? You're just a diehard fan. You never miss an episode. You don't care if you got to record it, set a pre-recording ahead of time if you won't be home or whatever the case is, right? But either way, you make sure that you watch that episode, right? Well, that's a form of discipline. You are disciplined in watching that show. Let's say every weekend you go out, you hit a bar, and you down some beers and some shots and things like that. Habitually, right? Every weekend you go out. It's discipline, right? Let's say you can't go a week without having pizza or something like that. Or for the most part, every single day you have a daily routine, right? That's discipline. Let's say if you have a job, right? And you've held the job as long as you have because you've been disciplined enough to do the things that won't get you fired, right? So you're actually a lot more disciplined than you think. I mean, even sitting on the couch all day or sleeping in, being lazy, that's a discipline too. That's a commitment. That's a commitment to being lazy. And that's a discipline to being lazy, right? Sitting on the couch. It takes a lot of energy to do that. I can't sit around all day and do nothing. That's very hard for me to do. Some people, it's very easy for them to do that, but it's very hard for them to do what I do, right? It's just two different forms of discipline, but either way, it's energy that's going in one direction or another, right? So I want you to understand, I want you to really look at, your daily routine. When do you get up? What's your breakfast look like? Do you even eat breakfast, right? What do your days look like on a consistent basis? And then I want you to look at what lifestyle do you want that perhaps you're not living, right? So let's say you wanted to earn more income, right? You wanted to have a larger house. You wanted to have a fancier car, bigger bank account. You wanted your abs to show. You wanted more muscle, right? You wanted to be a better speaker. You wanted to have a better sex life, right? Whatever the case is, right? Now ask yourself, is your daily routine and your consistent discipline, are you disciplined in doing those things that get you to that goal or get you that result? Because we've already established the fact, right, that you already have a lot more discipline than you think, but the question is now, are the things that you're disciplined in yielding you a positive result towards your goals? So now the next thing I want to talk about is now disciplines. It can be very small things that roll into and snowball into greater things. Let's say, for instance, you have work at 8 o'clock and you wake up, right, at like the minimum time it takes for you to get dressed and get out the door and get to work on time. So you probably wake up too late to cook breakfast. You wake up too late to read or anything like that, right? You give yourself just enough time to get dressed, go out the door, and get a coffee and a donut or a bagel before you hit your desk at work, right, or whatever you do. You give yourself just enough time. So now imagine, and that's a discipline, because you select that time, you've calculated that time to give yourself just enough, right? So now what if you scaled it back a little bit and you said, I'm gonna wake up a half an hour earlier than I do now. So let's say you wake up at 7:30. Right? Let's say now you decide, I'm gonna wake up at 7 o'clock. You wake up at 7 o'clock, you give yourself extra time to cook breakfast. So now rather than eating the donut and drinking the coffee, now maybe you're having tea in the morning, maybe you're having water, 2 hard-boiled eggs, a grapefruit, banana, something like that, right? So now just waking up that half an hour earlier creates the opportunity for you to tighten up and eat a healthier breakfast. So now you have more energy, you're doing that consistently, you're dropping weight, you're dropping body fat, right? So that just that half an hour of waking up earlier, you'll see the opportunity to now tighten up on your breakfast and get in shape. Now imagine if you woke up an hour earlier. Then you would not only be able to cook your breakfast, you'd be able to eat your breakfast and perhaps do some education, do some reading, watch some instructional videos on things you want to do. Let's say your goal is to make more money. Well, how am I going to make more money? Well, I want to be a business owner. Okay, what kind of business do you want to own? I want to own this kind of business. All right, great. How do you start? That's where the education kicks in. So you ask yourself the right questions, and then when you get the answers, you now do the education to see how it's going to get you to those answers. Right? So now if you wake up that hour earlier, you tighten up on your breakfast. There's not a chance of you being late because you woke up way in advance. And you get to eat a healthy breakfast and educate yourself at the same time. So now imagine if you did that every day for a month straight. Right? The whole 30 days straight. Every day you woke up at the same time, nice and early, you cooked a healthy breakfast, and then you did some education. And then you got some practical information from your education to now perhaps become a business owner or start taking the steps in that direction. You started developing a new discipline. And so now the more discipline that you have in the direction of your goals, the more opportunity opens up. So now you say, you know what, I've been waking up an hour earlier. I'm going to take it up a notch. I'm going to wake up an hour and a half earlier, right? So now you have that extra 30 minutes now to exercise in the morning. So now you've woken up, you've exercised, then you ate a healthy breakfast, and then you did some education. This is huge, right? Because now we're getting closer to having an optimal morning for you to not only get in shape, but also figure out and produce actions that earn you extra income and develop your own business. You see what I'm saying? And so the directions and the discipline's the same, but the direction is just so polar opposite. Because you can either watch Walking Dead where people just die and get eaten by zombies and it's not practical information for you. It's heart-wrenching and all of that and it's entertaining, but you can't do anything with that information. That information is not going to make you money. That information is not going to get you in shape. It's not really going to do anything for you. But now what if you actually took the dedication from your favorite TV show and put it into education, into achieving something that you really wanted? See what I'm saying? Imagine if you switch directions. And so what happens, all you do is you take that discipline and you just refocus it. And then your lifestyle starts to change. Same amount of discipline, but a major lifestyle change. Because you went from just getting up, going through the monotony of work, empty stomach, garbage breakfast, no exercise, and then you're watching a show that's just feeding you information that you can't use. You went from that discipline to waking up an hour and a half earlier, working out, eating healthy, and getting educated. And you've done that for so long that now you got muscle, you feel great, you got tons of energy, your body's healthier because you've been eating a healthy breakfast, your abs are starting to show now, stomach is flat, you look down, you can see your feet, right? And all it started was just giving yourself an extra hour and a half time and refocusing your discipline. In an hour and a half, you're talking about 90 minutes, it's not like a crazy, huge commitment. It's just 90 minutes, it's just an hour and a half in the morning. But that hour and a half in the morning just opens up so much opportunity. And so pretty much the message that I want to relay now is just the fact that there's discipline, but then there's the direction. You can have discipline that leads you away from your goals or keeps you where you are, which is an unhappy state that you don't really desire. Or you can have that same amount of discipline and redirect it towards your goals. And then when you redirect it towards your goals, your lifestyle changes and provides you extra opportunity to just become better and reach those goals faster. And that's how you become the best version of yourself with the same amount of discipline. You see? So I just want you to keep in mind, you are disciplined. All you need to do is just point your nose in the right direction and then watch your life change.